on CTV3 News. Santander says there is no need for the importation of refined sugar as they can supply the local market. Guinea Grass resident charged for shooting 18-year-old Adrian Naw on the leg. When will locally produced sugar hit the Belizean market? BSI ASR tells us. And as road traffic accidents keep claiming lives, Minister of Transport calls on drivers to practice safety. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, January 18th, 2023.
Ignite the innovator in you with Dell. Cellular World is an authorized partner for Dell Technologies. Whether you're looking for equipment for personal use or to transform your business, Dell Technologies can provide you with the right equipment to suit your needs. Dell is more than just desktop computers and laptops. The full line also includes monitors, data storage solutions, keyboards, docking stations, and other accessories. This is technology that makes it possible and provides solutions for every situation. Shop for your Dell products at Cellular World, your #1 Dell authorized partner in Belize, and get all the technology you want for less. Bring your brightest ideas to life with intelligent technology. Cellular World, authorized Dell partner.
With Express Plus, you can stream on the go or stream at home. Stream the latest movies, telenovelas, series, anime, or music videos from your favorite local artists. Sign up now with Centaur's Express Plus.
Yes, I give her 50 times ending, now me have to pay.
Where you going, bruh? The who they stress you out again, Namule?
Boy, I don't believe the fool again.
Again?
But I mess up this time for real, for real. You don't really want to know?
Yes.
I want here.
Can't make it a big deal.
We
Sure.
know what that.
I know how you going now.
Oh, man.
You really want to know?
Ah, yeah?
Take my plan, and I give her. I take my plan, and put it in a name.
Wait, so tell me something. You still pay for this plan?
Oh, yeah. But hear this. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize. This plan, I can't left this plan, yeah. This plan, I can't left this plan. Postpaid plan. This plan, I can't left this plan. With Smart Belize, it's unlimited data. Smart choice plan can light up your day. Postpaid with eSIM, make everything better. Just visit Smart showrooms today. I can't left this plan. 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 Affordable for everyone. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong.
You know why? Listen, hey, for the best post and prepaid. You know that smart got you back.
My bad. She could left me for another man. The truth, once I have my plan, once I have my Smart Plus plan, and no worry, cause the data strong. I know when you bleed, cause that's all I need. And you could tell me where you are, but I know I left this plan. Smart have the best services. We post your plan have everything, so you could talk and text unlimited. Come set up your group. We got share plan 1 and 2. Up to 10 friends can connect anywhere. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong. Don't dig it down, 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 don't dig it. Smart, bringing people together.
With Express Plus, you can stream on the go or stream at home. Stream the latest movies, telenovelas, series, anime, or music videos from your favorite local artists. Sign up now with Centaur's Express Plus.
evening with your news, also simulcast on Face FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. If you are currently looking for white sugar in our local market, we can assure you that there is not a shortage at the moment. However, consumers must be prepared to spend up to $1.65 for a pound of product. This is because the white sugar in the market is refined white sugar, which was imported into Belize to make up for the scarcity experienced for several months due to the illegal selling of the local product in neighboring countries. Even though the crop commenced on December 28, Belizeans can expect to have imported sugar on the shelves for the next couple of weeks as the mill works to produce the white sweetener.
It's not a lot of sugar that was brought in, but it was really to ensure that customers have a choice. You can either use brown or you can use the imported white in the meantime. And it's funny, last night I was talking to a small business person who said, the brown sugar is fine, but the coloration for my lime juice or for the juices that I have is not appropriate. So it doesn't matter what the price is. I just need access to the sugar because it impacts my business. So that was the rationale that we really had to make sure that consumers had a choice until we were able to get back on track. And obviously, the delay in the start of the crop also played a role in that. Technically, there's a need to purge the system. And as we get the quality improvements and we're able to get our full system online, we should then be able to have the plantation white at the quality that, our parameters dictate. So it's a number of factors, but we did not import a huge amount of white sugar. And the idea is within another 2 to 3 weeks, we should see, the plantation white being produced and being back on the shelves.
So far, about 50% of the total imported sugar has been consumed. The remaining percentage should last until the local sugar hits the market.
Amount of sugar that was imported is only a week's supply from our estimates. So really it's just that 1 week gap whilst we are able to purge our systems and we are able to get out plantation white into the market. The importance of purging the system, Marisol, is that whenever we are in the off crop, we are doing a lot of metal work, welding, things like that, and so it is likely that it comes that the first amounts of sugar has metal flux and other impurities that should not be there. And usually we take for the first month of crop, we are doing raw sugar. And we know the importance of producing white plantation white. So we are doing that earlier, but it is important that our systems are completely purged.
But while the price of the imported sugar may seem excessive to some, representatives of BSI who imported the white sugar from Florida say the price we are witnessing is the same as that of the international market.
Quite a number of people are also asking about the price difference. Everywhere else, it's a supply and demand market. Because of the controlled price, that plays a huge difference. And we've not seen an increase in prices for more than 10 years, despite the fact that inputs and so many things have increased. So people talk about subsidizing the industry, but the industry also subsidizes the cost of sugar that we have in the market. So it's very important that we take all those things into consideration. And, we did it just to ensure that there was a choice in terms of if you have a business or and you require white sugar, that you did have a choice in terms of purchasing it.
In terms of ensuring that our sugar remains in the country and not smuggled into neighboring markets, Communications Officer for BSI ASR, William Neal, says stakeholders, including the government, must work together to mitigate this serious problem.
We're upwards of 50% of the imported white sugar. So we did not bring in a huge amount. It was just to ensure that
A
we did
week's
have
supply.
the access,
Sorry.
public supply. So that's key. But more than anything else, what is very important to note is that BSI, as a corporate citizen, works hand in hand with the government and with the industry to ensure that we don't have these challenges. But of course, we know that contraband was the main issue, and with the lower prices in Belize, the demand outside our borders is great. So you'll always have that challenge if there's not an increase of sorts. There's also room for us to consider packaging of the sugar in smaller quantities, which would make it a little bit more expensive, but you're talking about food safety and food security within our borders. And it's important to note also that we only consume about 10% of the sugar that we produce as a country. So there was an increase in that, and the demands from the neighboring countries was really what tightened the market. But we have to make sure that we're doing a better job of, and one option is actually to do the marketing of sugar in smaller packages so that you clearly see that it is Belize sugar that is going through and leaking through the borders to other markets as well.
As consumers contend with the price of imported white sugar, Belize's second sugar mill, Santander Sugar Group, is looking to tap into the local market and is calling on government to open the lines of communication for them to be able to do so. The Santander mill, as Belizeans may be aware, is located in the Cayo district. However, it is not authorized to sell its sugar in the local market as it is classified as an export processing zone (EPZ) and can only produce sugar for the export market. The manufacturers, though, are looking for a change of plan, and in a release issued today, it says it remains prepared to provide sugar to the local market. The release states, and we quote, "At Santander, we produce both brown and white direct consumption sugars and is certainly able to provide sugar in the local market if granted a quota by the local authorities." The release continues, "Santander Sugar Group analysis of the present situation has led to the conclusion that there is no need for the importation of refined sugar as the existing gap can be filled by the sugar produced right here by Santander." The principals of Santander Sugar Group remain available to having an official conversation with the decision makers regarding the supply of sugar to Belizeans as a long-term solution, end quote. Communications Officer for the Santander Group, Beverly Burke, says that as a Belizean company, it is only fit that Santander's sugar be enjoyed by Belizeans.
We're saying that we are prepared to come to the table to discuss officially a long-term position. As you are aware, Santander is not allowed to sell its sugar on the local market. Listening to the interviews that I've heard thus far, I believe that we're looking at a prolonged problem in terms of the country being faced with shortage. If that is indeed so, we are prepared to fill that gap. It simply cannot be a phone call at the 9th hour, however, because the sugar that we produce, in the absence of any agreement locally, it's exported. So when we're called upon in November, December, of course we won't have any sugar then because none was earmarked for the local market. However, if we go to the table and a decision is derived, then we can ensure that that sugar is available for local consumption. And
The conservation to have Santander sugar consumed locally, according to Burke, must take place to ensure supply and demand, especially if Belize's sugar continues to find itself involved in the informal trade.
it's not an issue of selling the sugar at all. I think it's more an issue for us being a Belize company, having some presence in the country. That's really what it is. We're a Belize company. We have our employees asking us for sugar. We have local distributors constantly asking us for sugar, and it would be a good thing for us. I think it's definitely something that we want to see here. We want to see our own product on the shelves here. So it has absolutely nothing to do with not being able to sell the sugar. And you said something very correct there. There is a worldwide shortage, coupled with the fact that the price of sugar is increasing. So we are in the perfect position to say exactly what we want to do with that sugar. Do we continue exporting 100%, which is not a problem for us? But as I said, if we are a Belize company and we're producing this product 100% here in Belize, and Belizeans are not being able to have sugar when they need it, or are being faced with an imported refined sugar at a much higher price than they're used to paying, then we're coming forth to say we might have a solution for this issue. But it requires coming to the table with the officials, because there are permits, there are licenses, there are all these things that are necessary for the sugar to be in the local market. So for us, we're open, willing, ready, able to have this conversation for decisions to be made so as to ensure that later on in the year, when there is an increased need for sugar, that it is available.
But while Santander says it can provide an almost immediate solution to the sugar shortage in the country, the reality is the way the law is stipulated, the company is not allowed to sell sugar locally. But as they say, necessity is the mother of invention, and if the need arrives, the government could find itself changing the status of the company.
They operate under what we used to call a DPA, is it? Yeah, Designated Processing Zone, which was first an EPZ. Under that status, they are not allowed to sell sugar locally. However, I believe, and I do not know the exact clause, but if there is a need to do so, I think the government can. I'm not certain. But as it is right now, that status that they have will not allow them to sell local sugar on the market.
With the 2023-2024 crop season already underway, the importation of sugar, at least for now, is expected to be something of the past.
We calculated along with BSI what is the consumption. As a matter of fact, the shortage of white sugar was only for the Christmas season, because there was a higher demand during Christmas season for cake making. We have surpassed that now. The crop has begun, sugar is being produced, and so there's no more need for that.
Fatal road traffic accidents seems to be increasing across the country of late. Almost weekly, there are reports of fatalities linked to road traffic accidents on our major highways. In fact, just a few days ago, there was a major accident on the San Esteban Road which claimed the lives of 3 men from the Corozal district. And before that, an Orange Walk resident lost his life on the August Pine Ridge Road. To reduce the numbers, authorities from different sectors have called on drivers to do their part, and most recently, the police department has joined efforts with the transport department to devise a plan in an effort to help curb the situation. Nonetheless, while authorities can implement rules and regulations, Transport Minister Rodwell Ferguson says that drivers have been negligent on the road and safety must be a priority.
For the Christmas holiday, I called the Commissioner of Police and I spoke to him. I said, Commissioner, there have to be a collaborative effort between transport and police to try to mitigate the amount of traffic accidents. So we carry out the several checks over the Christmas holiday at night, at day, with a combination of police and traffic. But it is very hard to control because when somebody is behind the driving wheel, they feel like they are at their own leisure. But when there's an accident, then it affects family members who remain behind. So again, I just spoke to my chief transport officer this morning, and tomorrow morning he and the commissioner will meet to devise a plan. We have the speed limit at 55 miles an hour. Because the road has been rehabilitated, 55 miles an hour seems very slow. So everybody go above 55. But I guess if this continues with this trend, we have to make sure we go back to the 55 miles an hour on the highway. And yes, and when they say, oh, the improvement, everybody say can go faster, and they feel like they are a very good driver and they can control. But anything can happen. A tire can burst, you can lose control, and that's it, in a split of a second. When I was a child, every time my mother used to tell me this year is a leap year. I don't follow it since then, but I understand this year is a leap year. And I say when there's a leap year, then many accidents happen, and we are seeing it for ourselves. But I'm hopeful that we can definitely mitigate this and try to save lives because it's unconscionable when people just lost their lives simply in a matter of a second. So definitely we are doing our part as the Minister of Transport, and I guarantee you we are going to find a solution to mitigate it. We can't stop it, but we can mitigate it.
It is expected that a cabinet paper is being drafted by the police department in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport to have stricter regulations implemented across Belize's main highways and thoroughfares. The government of Belize has commenced the establishment of its Commission of Inquiry into the modernization of the country's sugar industry. As a part of the agreement brokered with the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, BCFA, and the Belize Sugar Industries Limited, American Sugar Refinery Group, BSI-ASR, GOB has 30 days to set up the commission. Today, Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo Mai, spoke about the issue.
We have names from people from Mauritius, but I think ASR, through our Attorney General's office, has said that they want to add 2 more people to that cocktail of experts. So we are waiting for those 2 names, and we are moving on. I think we've given them a time span. Submit the names, and we shall include them, and we need to roll. But we cannot keep dragging our foot on this. So I've asked my staff just a while ago, has been aside submitted their names. If they're not, then we have to move on. But we cannot be chasing our tail like dogs in circles. We got to move on to this.
Coming up next, an update on the 2023-2024 crop season after a tumultuous start. Stay tuned.
With Express Plus, you can stream on the go or stream at home. Stream the latest movies, telenovelas, series, anime, or music videos from your favorite local artists. Sign up now with Santander's Express Plus.
El estancamiento de la industria azucarera ha llegado a su fin y se ha firmado un acuerdo entre los productores de caña y los molineros BSI-ASR. Han sido tiempos difíciles para todos los implicados, con repercusiones para todos nosotros y para la nación. Pero como gobierno responsable, hemos afrontado este reto como todos los demás, con respeto, serenidad y determinación. Siempre hemos confiado en nuestro pueblo, entendiendo que todo lo que queremos, cualquiera de nosotros, es simplemente una vida mejor para nuestras familias y el desarrollo de nuestro querido Belice. Se trata de un acuerdo forjado a través de un diálogo pacífico y constructivo, y nuestro primer ministro y su equipo están agradecidos a todos los implicados, a nuestros agricultores de caña que lucharon por sus derechos, a BSI-ASR que comprendieron que todos estamos juntos en esto, y a todos los que participaron para llegar a este punto. Una victoria para Belice. Esto es gobernanza real. Esto es progreso real. Cumplamos el plan. Seguimos avanzando.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers Bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
31-year-old Benjamin Cruz of Guinea Grass, Orange Walk, was charged at the Orange Walk Magistrates Court yesterday with wounding and use of deadly means of harm for the shooting of 18-year-old Adrian No, also of Guinea Grass. It is reported that on Sunday, January 14th, No was at the home of a friend in the community of Guinea Grass, along with Cruz and 2 other individuals, when Cruz, who was under the influence of alcohol, took out a firearm from his bag and fired a single shot in the air. No claims that he and the others warned Cruz to be careful with the firearm. But instead of paying heed, Cruz pointed the gun at No and fired a single shot in his direction. The bullet caught No on the right leg. According to police, Cruz was remanded to prison and is scheduled to return to court on April 18th. Tonight, Robert Carter is dead. This is after he was knocked down on January 5th, 2024 at around midday in Corozal town. Since the accident, Carter remained hospitalized at the KHMH. Around midday today, his family announced that he had passed away. The 93-year-old suffered head injuries of which he never recuperated from. There is no word about charges being brought against the driver of the vehicle involved in the RTA. We tried to get a comment from the family, but we were not successful. It has been 21 days since the start of the 2023-2024 sugarcane crop season. The Safra saw a slow start, but with all farmers now delivering cane to the mill, today representatives of BSI ASR gave an update on the progress of the season, which is now finally in full swing.
It's been 21 days of crop. Some days we've had to stop due to weather conditions. We started slow given the three associations that were delivering, so it wasn't to full capacity. We started with one boiler, and we were able to mill about 2,500 to 3,000 tons a day. We had to stop for a brief moment there, about a day and a half, due to weather conditions. And then we've had 2 maintenance stops already. Total amount of cane so far is 82,964, almost 83,000 tons of cane, which is good. And we've produced a total of 6,287 tons of sugar. The quality is typical of this time of the year. We're at about 11 tons cane to tons sugar. During the first part of the season, the B79 is a later maturing variety, and majority of the farmers have that variety. At BSI, we do plant early maturing varieties, so that's why we encourage farmers to look at a diverse varietal compendium, really, to have early maturing varieties. But it's typical of this time of the year. And so the quality is progressing well. The weather is holding up, actually. We've had relatively good weather conditions for harvesting. The fields are still moist, really. So the farmers do have a little bit of moist fields that they have to be careful in terms of their harvesting practices, but relatively good cane quality for this time of the year. As we go along, it will go improving as the cane continues to mature and the fields continue to dry up.
While all farmers are now taking the cue, other factors such as the weather and the lack of cane cutters remain a challenge for the industry.
The cane delivery is going rather smoothly at the moment. We know from farmers that they have challenges with labor, and it has decreased about 20% from what we used to start in the past. However, we are looking at different ways in which we can ensure, one, that the cutters that we do have, some of the conditions are improving for that, to maintain their productivity on the ground. And also we're looking at other options along with the SCPC members to see how we can get some labor, really, because that's what's important. And also mechanical harvesting activities. Currently, we have 3 farmers from the associations now on the ground with mechanical harvesters. We have an expert currently from Australia looking at these machineries and how these can be improved on the ground with farmers. BSI is harvesting mechanically, so we do still have options for farmers that have cane lands that are prepared or relatively okay for that service. Additionally, we're looking at the industry in our neighboring country, Mexico. They have a long stick cutter, which is, it looks very well adapted to our conditions and the smaller cane fields. And so we're also looking at those opportunities there for cane farmers. We have a visit with the association leaders over there to see how they can, one, trial it here, and two, if it will be well adapted to our fields. So the experts on this are looking at this as a solution as well.
With record sugar prices currently in the international market, Cane Farmer Relations Manager for BSI ASR, Olivia Aviles, is today encouraging farmers to do their part to ensure cane security.
We do have our AgroPro services at the moment for farmers. Key is ratoon maintenance. It is very important for farmers to maintain their fields now that they're harvesting, add the fertilizer required within the time limits that the plant can really take advantage of those nutrients, and also the weed control. We have pre-emergent type controls, which this is really controlling the weed before it starts to have an impact on the plant. And that, again, it's very timely. You have to do it within 10, 15 days of harvesting. So we really encourage farmers, given that we have good prices, really good prices, to ensure that they are maintaining their fields so that they are able to have a good production next year as well. We also have the replanting services, which there are fields that it doesn't matter what you do, it's best to replant those because the population is too low. And so anything below 16 tons, we're advising farmers, replant those fields so that you're able to get a better profit and income.
Today, farmers in the West celebrated the opening of 4.72 miles of the Valley of Peace Road. The project was implemented through the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment, along with the Resilient Rural Belize program. To commemorate the milestone, an official ceremony was held at the Valley of Peace Community Center. The event saw the participation of government officials, including Minister of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, Jose Abelardo May, CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, Dr. Osmond Martinez, explains how this particular project was salvaged and had to undergo 4 components for it to become a reality at a cost of $2.2 million Belize dollars.
They have 4 different components. So one is that is IFAD's funding, which is a loan. 2 is GCF, which is a grant. Then you have government's counterpart funding, and then the beneficiaries, they contribute 10% either in kind or in cash.
Okay. Can you give me like a summary of how this one was salvaged? You mentioned that you almost lost it.
Yes, so this project, the Resilient Rural Belize project, was established back in 2016. And so the time of the implementation of the project should have been 5 years. So meaning that by 2021, the project should have been completed. It was a $40 million project. And so in 2020, at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, we received a letter from IFAD saying IFAD is the implementing agent for the Resilient Rural Belize program. And the letter stated that the implementation rate was less than 1%. Salary, the projects practically just paid for salaries, vehicles, operational costs, but 0 implementation. So they were recalling the fund saying, okay, this is a project that is on a problematic stage, therefore, we have to recall it, right?
Okay, what caused that?
Oh, the poor implementation is basically when the previous administration failed to implement it. So one of our things, we are working with the same people, so it's not an issue of the people not having the ability to implement, but it's a matter of leadership. So for example, the Prime Minister of Belize said, what do you need? He asked me, what do you need to make sure that this project be implemented? And so, the previous administration failed with its implementation, and our Prime Minister gave directives saying, listen, there is no room for failure. let's implement it, and especially because there are ground components, and it's the first project that had a GCF component. But let me tell you, this is not the only project that have experience where funds have been recalled. If you look at the history of Belize, there are millions and millions of dollars that that the country of Belize or the beneficiaries did not enjoy because of poor implementation. And these are the things that we are working on. And I'm glad to see that we are implementing this project.
The new redesigned road is one that needed urgent attention. Before the road was rehabilitated, farmers experienced losses of at least 3% in goods while transporting them to the market for sale. Now this is about to change, says the Assistant Zone Engineer for the Cayo District.
In some cases it's more. As a rule of thumb, there's a huge wastage due to handling of products. First and foremost, sometimes when we harvest, we just put them in bags. We don't pack them properly in crates. So the movement along a bumpy road damages the skin of vegetables, or doesn't necessarily have to be vegetables, any farm commodity, you know. So that in itself, as soon as something is damaged, it's like a bruise on a human being. Once it's bruised, the decomposition starts quickly. The release of sugars starts quickly, and products can ripen before because there's release of ethylene gas, so it ripens before. So the condition of the road has a lot to do with post-harvest technology. Post-harvest technology then reflects on how much of the harvestable product gets to the consumer. And that loss along the way is tremendous, of which the road contributes a lot to that. Remember, it's also the time from the field to the market, not only the damaging of the product itself, but the time. So a bumpy road or an inaccessible farm makes it even worse.
And then the technical part having to do with the road itself, please.
Well, the road was designed by the Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing. It was built to standards to which very few roads, at least farmer roads or feeder roads, have been built with a design. Normally we go in with our equipment and we build a road. And then whenever months later or years later, the road is upgraded. In this case, this road was designed to meet all international standards and built according to the design.
The most important thing, though, is that one, you stimulate farmers to produce more because you have easier access to the farms. Two is that you lower the cost of production. And the highest cost in food production is the cost of transportation. So whenever you improve roads, you lower the cost of production. And the third one is that you improve the quality of the food that gets to the market. This road will definitely improve the lives of the people in these communities that produce vegetables. And I must say to you that Valley of Peace is a large producer of vegetables, especially cabbage. They have cabbage all year round.
The road was built at cost, which means that GOB was able to save some much needed cash. That money has been earmarked for the paving of the road.
It was 2.2 million Belize dollars of the total cost of the road, and that practically was done at cost because the Ministry of Infrastructure Development was the one who did it for us. So we didn't get a contractor. So and if the engineers would explain all that they have done on this road, and the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, I mean, I think it would have cost us around maybe 3 or 4 million Belize dollars. That is the plan, that we want to pave it, and not only this one, but all the other roads, you know, as Minister Mike clearly stated on his opening remarks, that we're practically taking this road to paving standard. And then Belize is a country, when it rains a lot, and we won't want that 3 years from now or 4 years from now, these roads are disappearing. No? And so we do have also a proposal going to GCF, whereby we have asked GCF for additional funding to upgrade the roads to paving standard. And if that comes through, we might actually get the paving at free of cost.
Valley of Peace is a farming community in the Cayo South electoral division presently presented in Parliament by the Honorable Julius Espat. Last year, specifically on January 11th, residents in San Pedro Town gathered at the Lion's Den to witness the historic signing of a memorandum of understanding between the governments of Belize and Taiwan for the construction of the San Pedro General Hospital. With the island community growing exponentially, the present administration found it necessary to answer to the call of islanders. With a $33 million grant already signed, the groundbreaking for the facility is expected soon.
We are just at the point signing the contract with OECC. That's the Taiwanese company that works along with the Taiwanese government. We are almost at the point to sign the contract, and then they will be working, I guess, with a local contractor to be able to build the building. And I would think that probably in the next few weeks we will be doing the groundbreaking ceremony.
The price of liquid petroleum gas saw a slight decrease of 2 cents today, Thursday, January 18th. The change reflects wholesale volume and retail sale by volume in both urban and rural areas. This means that the wholesale price for LPG is now $3.80. In urban areas, the retail price will be $1.24 per pound or $5.40 per gallon. Prices in the rural areas will decrease to $1.26 per pound or $5.50 per gallon. According to the Supplies Control Unit SCU in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, the decrease of 2 cents per gallon is a result of a reduction in the acquisition price of both butane and propane. Yesterday, Prime Minister Honorable John Briceño and Honorable Francis Fonseca, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, met with former Senator Chris Dodd, U.S. Special Presidential Advisor for the Western Hemisphere, and Her Excellency Michelle Kwan, U.S. Ambassador to Belize. They discussed issues of mutual interest, including security collaboration, investment opportunities, Belize-Guatemala relations, and the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. The Prime Minister was joined by Ambassador Stuart Leslie, Cabinet Secretary, and Minister Fonseca was joined by Her Excellency Amalia Mai, CEO for Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Apart from Belize, Dodd will be paying a key visit to Costa Rica as part of the USA's ongoing efforts to enforce relations and enhance commitments in this side of the globe. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, January 19th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.